Nestled in the heart of historic downtown Wilkesboro, the 1915 offers a wedding experience like no other. Once a federal courthouse and post office, the 1915 combines rich history with timeless charm. From intimate gatherings to full-day rentals, we provide the perfect backdrop for your most cherished moments. With indoor and outdoor options, bridal and groom suites, every detail is crafted just for you. Make your wedding unforgettable at the 1915, Wilkesboro's historic wedding venue, where your story begins.
Closed captions for this episode of Life in Wilkes is brought to you by Deal Insurance Agency in Wilkesboro, an award-winning, experienced, family-owned and operated agency with service and coverage that goes above and beyond expectations. Join us on a captivating journey as we explore the charm, history, and vibrant culture of Wilkes County. Discover the hidden gems, inspiring stories, and remarkable people that make Wilkes a place worth knowing and celebrating. Join us now and experience the unique essence of life in Wilkes.
Good morning, Heather, Jimmy. Good to see you both.
Good to see you, Carl.
Good morning, Carl. Good to see you.
I think we met first some years ago with Life in the Carolinas. We did a story around 6th and Main, and it's still there. One of the things that, there were some fun things around that production. One was, remember the car we used in that scene, the vintage car?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So our friends up at the dealership brought that down.
Yes, John.
And yep, John did. And we were in the car coming around. And Tim, you shot that commercial, didn't you?
Yes.
That spot. So the camera was set up way in the back, and Ken Welburn was there taking a few pictures to do a story about. But Ken he didn't know he was, and he had no idea the camera was way off in the distance. But he kept stepping into the shot.
That's funny.
And so we had to do it over
Several
again.
times. I remember that.
It was a few times, to get it just right. It wasn't all Ken, but Ken remembers that, and he says, "Where are we going? Is there a camera around? I want to stay out of the shot, unless I'm on camera, of course." So, but that was a great time. We had a lot of fun with that, and obviously the food was great. The ghost story certainly got a lot of interaction.
Sure did.
So, how's that going now? Because I know you guys have done a little remodeling, right? So, in that process, did you disturb the ghostly presence?
I don't think so. I think I've just got accustomed to the weird sounds and things out of the corner of my eye, and maybe I've just got immune to the ghost. But she's still around.
Things out of the corner of your eye?
You might see like a black figure or somebody cut in the corner, or feel a presence when I'm down there during the day. But
still.
Yeah. But it's
you don't have cataracts or anything.
Well, I don't have real good vision.
Well, I mean, floaters,
But I guess I've just come to the conclusion if it was going to do something mean, it'd done something mean by now. So.
Well, I don't think we have to assume that any of that's mean, right?
I guess when you grow up as a kid, you just assume ghosts are scary and mischievous or whatever. But
that's right. Well, anyway, that was good fun bringing that part to life.
Yeah.
But you guys have just you weathered the COVID era, which was interesting, converting to a to-go operation for a bit. But you did it.
We did. Yeah. Thinking back on that, it's crazy that we managed it, but we did.
Seems a long time ago, but it kept us afloat.
Yeah. So that was a good thing. So things are looking good now, and let's talk a little bit about the both of you and how you kind of got into the restaurant business, but growing up in Wilkes, who Jimmy, what was your upbringing here?
Well, I grew up in Wilkesboro and. Went to Wilkesboro Elementary and went to Woodward Junior High and went to Wilkes Central, went to Appalachian State, studied manufacturing there, worked in the furniture industry. And
now, when you were in the furniture industry, this was your family in the furniture industry?
We were at Key City Furniture.
Okay.
Yeah, we made custom-made upholstery,
mm-hmm.
and
You guys were around a long time, weren't
Since
you?
1927.
So 1927 is when it started. So when you became involved, you were what, the third generation involvement?
Yes,
like your grandfather, father,
Yeah.
and then
Actually, fourth generation.
Fourth.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I worked with my father and my uncle, and I worked in all aspects of the business. Yeah, I mean, I started loading trucks down there when I was 14 years old.
So you mean you were part of the ownership family, and you didn't have a high-end glamorous job? Did you?
Well, yeah, I just did it all. Yeah.
Isn't that the way it is with
Yeah.
people who build things and make things? It's a hands-on approach for
Yeah,
everybody.
It
right?
is. It is. Yeah.
How the industry changed? I mean, what was that like for Key City? It was,
you just had so much stuff going overseas. Business was really good at one point. We had a big account up in the Northeast called Domain by Judy George.
Oh.
And we, with our current floor space, we just didn't have the capacity to keep production up at a pace to keep up with that. And we had some other great accounts too. Walter E. Smith Furniture in Chicago was one of our bigger accounts. And so when the Ithaca building came available, it was an ideal space to.
And they were the textile folks.
They were
right?
the textile,
Right.
and we've known what's happened to textile. So much of it has gone overseas. The building was on one level. You started at one end and went out the other. And before we had multiple buildings, we'd have to truck stuff here, go downstairs. It was just, there was a lot of bottlenecks. So we moved over there, and I guess during the mid-90s, what happened.
Things changed.
Things changed. To go on top of that, our account that we had primarily moved over there for, they went bankrupt.
Oh.
So now we were in the predicament that we had a new overhead monster that we just couldn't feed. And that we just couldn't grab enough for the market share to keep it afloat.
So you were part of the Wilkes County story of where there was a boom, there was excitement in building and making things, and then saw what happened when the global market activities began to really come home, right?
Yeah.
Those things happen. And so as with many plants that they, for whatever reason, they shut down, and now we're here in 2025, and you look back. So you have had a front seat view of that evolution and how the county and the region has remade itself.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And I think we've done a great job at it. Yeah.
So is that an important story, do you think, just talking about that resilience and how, okay, we did that.
Yeah.
It stopped working, and then we've done other things.
Yeah.
And we can move forward.
Yeah, you just have to find the ability to reinvent yourself. Yeah.
That's it. Reinvent yourself.
Yeah.
So did this lady have something to do with that?
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
Maybe not by choice.
So did you meet him when the furniture business was still going, or?
Well, we had known each other for a long time,
Yeah.
but he was still working in the furniture business when
Okay.
we reconnected. So
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So did you have your mind on like, oh, he's going to have that factory to himself one day?
I didn't think about it like that. No.
No. Well, I'm not saying that that was your main motive.
No, I don't think so.
But you just loved each other, but you saw that happen.
Yeah.
So you were a spouse, you were together, you were.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that happened early in our relationship.
Yeah.
Okay, so got that out of the way.
Yeah.
What was the first thing you tackled together?
The restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still tackling that every day.
Yeah. We saw that the furniture factory was a sinking ship, and it was just it was a bad scene. And in the meantime, her uncle had came to her, and has had a great dog food business, and he just had a lot to keep up with, and proposed the idea to her that maybe would you be interested, because she'd worked there since the beginning and worked at Lowe's at the same time when Lowe's headquarters was here, And I was like, I've never thought about being in the restaurant business. I did work at Subway one summer. That was my extent of it. But
well, the seed was planted.
Yeah. But
It wasn't really for it in the beginning, though.
yeah, I was like,
When I first approached him.
because there'll be people hear horror stories about the restaurant business.
Right.
And you're like, oh my God, who goes in that business?
But you came at it in a colorful way
Yeah.
too, right? With your uncle and the
Yeah.
building and the place. I mean, just so we're clear, because there was a little muddiness in how people could think about that statement. He wasn't making dog food in that place.
No. He was a distributor.
Right.
Yeah.
He was doing well on selling dog
Oh
food.
yeah, an awesome job. Yeah.
And so that was good. But he actually owned the restaurant there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. What was it called then?
6 and Main.
So it was
as
6
well.
and Main
Yes.
then, because it had been other things before that.
Yes,
right?
prior to him taking it over. Yes.
Right. I remember those past stories. So what was it that pushed the deck over, and both of you became one on this journey with being in the restaurant business? When did you decide that you would be okay with bussing tables occasionally?
The main determinant factor was our daughter.
Oh, okay.
And the family that she has here and the great support system.
Mm.
And we could have moved, but I didn't want to take her away from that. And she brings so much enjoyment to all our family members. I didn't want to do that to them either. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, who was that again?
Our daughter.
Your daughter.
Yeah.
Our daughter.
Yeah.
Yes, Fallon.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, our daughter.
All right. Okay. Well, where was she at?
Where was she at?
Yeah, you're talking about your own family being so great.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
wanted her to grow up around
Right.
our family. Yeah,
I
her
need
side, my side. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
In the community.
In the
Instead of going somewhere
Instead of
else.
us
Instead of us
relocating
moving,
somewhere
yeah.
else.
So
Yeah.
you said, "Hey, daughter, you want to work in a restaurant?"
Well, she was 3, so
yeah,
that
yeah,
was
Oh,
she
okay.
was- yeah.
You were planning your future employees.
Yeah, we're still working on her. Yeah,
Does she work in the restaurant with you?
She helps us some. Yeah, she's
Right.
15, so she works a couple nights a week.
Yeah.
Okay.
So-
All right. You get a kind of
her name is Fallon.
Fallon.
Well, it's easy to remember Jimmy Fallon, but we didn't
Right.
do this on purpose. And one day I didn't even think about that. Yeah,
Jimmy Fallon was not a thing when Fallon was born.
Right. You guys made it through a rough spot, and as many restaurants in the county and in the country had to figure out you're here. So let's talk about some of those more, I don't know, the word precious memories or great thoughts, or just some of the journey that you've had, that there have been moments that you're like, I don't know if we're going to do this, but then something happens. There have been those moments, right? You've had those breaking moments, and then something happens. You're like, okay, we're going on. What were some of those?
I guess when we both learned how to cook.
Oh, that's it, because you guys have gone through all kinds of chefs
Yeah.
there, right?
Yeah.
As the
Yeah.
restaurants do.
Yeah. It's a tough area for chefing,
Yeah,
and it's
we
a tough business. So we've just decided that it's easier for us to just do things ourselves.
yeah.
So that's a big evolution, because when we were there with the TV show, there was another chef, and I remember there being a few, but that's kind of common for the industry, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
So when was it that the two of you wrapped your head around that and says, we shall be the chefs?
Well, it was just we were just a three-legged table for so long.
Right.
Just there was a lot of sleepless nights and worrying, and I said, it's just ridiculous. We don't have to do this. Is our business. We know how to do everything, and this is the one thing that we don't know how to do. So we got up there and we worked with various people, and
With the chef you met.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
So you went to school
With him, yeah.
in your own
Yeah,
in your own
yeah,
classroom.
yeah.
Nice.
It's the best way, really.
Yeah, the guy that I worked with was a guy named Britton Saylor, and he had been trained by Jim Noble.
Oh, Jimmy's
So-
great.
So Britton had told us way in advance that he was leaving. This was 6 or 7 months out, wasn't it? And,
So he gave you a heads up.
yeah, and I'd worked a little bit in the kitchen, and I just worked with him day in and day out.
Mm-hmm.
He moves around a lot. He
Yeah.
usually will only stay somewhere about a year.
Yeah,
Right.
and he just, we worked, and But I think manufacturing helped me. It's just putting stuff together.
That's right, because you've got parts, you've got components, you put them together, and you got to make them look good. Because the customer won't be happy if they set good but don't look good. That doesn't work. It's got to do both, right?
Yes.
And it's just like with any other. It's just steps. You got to learn the steps. And then if there's unnecessary steps and it's going to save you time and money, reduce that step.
Right.
But
So you were able to use some manufacturing knowledge and just how do we streamline this?
Big correlation between the two. It's just.
So what point in the game were you in your learning process and then doing process that you said, all right, I got this. I can do this now?
We've been doing this for about 3 years now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
To where you feel like you got it.
Yeah.
We have one person that works in the kitchen about 3 to 4 nights a week.
Yeah.
And then the other nights I'm in the kitchen with Jimmy.
Okay.
Because I still like to be downstairs, preferably.
Yeah.
But I also like it in the kitchen. So.
Yeah. That's
Torn.
great. Well, Colonel Sanders knew how to fry chicken, right?
He did.
And then I fell out of my chair. And then Paula Dean, she's got a great restaurant now, but she doesn't. Several of them.
Yeah.
But she was a great cook, right? So all of those ideas about hospitality. Let me ask you that. So you've got your customers that come. Many have been coming since you've opened,
Since we
right?
opened, yeah.
So they're very loyal. I imagine it's like family.
Yes,
most
definitely.
So you've got family coming to dinner, right? So when you made this transition and you're now the chefs, how did they respond to that?
Some of my Friday regulars, when I was in the kitchen on Friday nights, were like, we miss you downstairs. Like, I know, I'm working on it. So, but they're also, they like it too. So they're proud of us that we've managed to, they brag on Jimmy all the time.
Well, thank you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So do they?
Very supportive.
What do they say? What?
Like, Jimmy's doing a great job. He really can cook. I'm like, yeah, he can. Yeah. Tell Jimmy my dinner was excellent tonight. Like, I will.
So all of those comments that eventually feed their way back up to you, knowing that you're sweating, it's hard work, and you're going to do it again.
Yeah.
Does that feed you in this?
Most definitely.
Yeah.
When everybody has low points during their day, so when you hear something like that,
that's a good thing, right?
Get you up and going again. Yeah, yeah. No, I'm very appreciative, and I'm very appreciative of our customers. Yeah.
People come to your place all the time. You still do the tablecloths, right?
Yes.
So you're the only white tablecloth restaurant in town now.
Yes.
And that means something. For those who know, they know, and they know why that's a special thing.
Yeah.
What do the two of you love most about what you do?
The people.
Yeah, the people. Yeah.
They are like family.
Yeah, the people.
We have the same people that come every week, sometimes Tuesday, Friday, sometimes, just Tuesday or sometimes just Friday, but the same people for over 20 years, once or twice a week. You become really close to them.
Right. You know everything, right?
Yeah.
They know what's going on in your life. You know what's going on in their life.
Yes.
And you share that. I think that's the power of a smaller community.
I think so, too.
We do things in Charlotte and Raleigh and where have you, and there are great restaurants everywhere, as you know. The two of you travel.
Yeah.
But having the time, having those casual moments, even when you're busy, it's still more casual than if, in larger areas where you don't have time to at least talk for a moment.
You don't see the same people all the time in larger areas.
Do you think that's one of the things that makes Wilkes a special place?
Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, most definitely.
Can you imagine living anywhere else?
Only Miami.
Certain time of the year. Not during
in the summer.
Not in the windy season.
Yeah. No, I love it here. My family's here.
Right.
Our work family's here. Our customer family's here. So, no. Couldn't imagine going anywhere else.
Yeah. You do a lot of catering, too, don't you?
We do. Yeah. Weddings, business events, things like that.
All these barn dominiums, I guess what you call them. They
Barn venues.
barn venues.
Lots of weddings and barn venues.
There's a lot of those, and those have helped us out tremendously. Yeah.
So you're putting together the menus for those special moments. So people like you for that, love you for that. But are you seeing, there's an interesting dynamic in talking to folks in that sector of business, that there are more people coming here from other places to have destination weddings.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
are you
that's true.
involved with that scene?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, most of the people that we cater for are from out of town.
Okay. All right. Why is that a good thing?
Well, it's just additional business, I guess. You know, a lot of the venues will recommend us, so that helps. Word of mouth, of course. So,
Do you ever sit down with someone and now that you are the people preparing the food too, so you're not only own the kitchen, but you're in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And here's a wedding of 500 people. And you've got that's going to be a busy time of the year anyway. When you're writing those numbers down, you're meeting with people, choosing the food, do your feet start hurting like months ahead of time?
sometimes I think about, oh my gosh, how are we going to get all this done, just the two of us? But miraculously, we usually pull it together. So.
Right. I guess your fondest memory of going through this journey, and it's okay if it's a collection of them, because I think when we look at life and we look at the reason that we do life in Wilkes, it's to celebrate the people who are doing things, the people who do things. I'm not talking about do perfect things, just do things that provide some sort of contribution to the community and life, their personal lives, and enriching the lives of people who may come here. So when you think about what the food scene is all about, I was sitting with Thomas Sally recently, and I said, what's important to travel and tourism, and what can we do with Life in Wilkes to help promote the assets that this region has to offer? And so we talked about the great outdoors, and then food. Food was right there at the top. So is that something that you see, and why do you think that that's important, being able to not just have a place to eat, but to have an experience that embodies, if you will, the spirit of the community? Do you ever think about it that way?
Yes and no. I mean, I think, we, like you said, are the only white tablecloth restaurant in the area, which sometimes helps us, sometimes hurts us. It depends upon the market, I guess, that we're...
Who's wanting to come to dinner, right?
Exactly, yes. But yeah, I think food's important. I mean, I know when we travel, we like to try new things, try new restaurants.
That's what we look for, right?
Yeah.
Where are we going to stay? Where are we going to eat? Right?
Exactly.
Can we get some entertainment?
Yes.
And that's pretty much it, right?
So.
I'm going to back up a little bit. I think what makes it easier on us is this town and the people and the scenery, because a main common denominator I see with these people when they come in is, gosh, this place is beautiful. I don't know how many times I've heard somebody say, I would love to live here.
Right.
And I think that makes it easier when they come to our restaurant, because they're happy to be here. Yeah. So if you got somebody coming in a good mood and you putting out a good product at the same time, it makes it a good experience.
So if you've got all these components providing some fulfillment and happiness for people, the people who live here and the people who visit here, or the people who are looking at the area to invest in, expand business, and that is happening, right? And I mean, your family is a perfect example of, by necessity, you saw an entire industry basically go, with a few people still here, but for the most that's gone, and having to remake the area. How do you fill that gap? Because the people doing the work are still here. What are they going to do now?
Yeah.
So people have found new things to do.
Yeah, it's amazing that these when people come out of town to do these wedding venues, that they brag on this community. And I mean, it really is.
Oh yeah, we have a couple from Charlotte that we did their wedding. It's probably been maybe 3 years. They come and eat with us every year, and their goal is to move up here to retire. They love it. They love it so much. They're like, next time you're in Charlotte, let's go to dinner. I mean, they're awesome. We love them.
So do you see that a lot? I mean, you're describing, if we would call that, so it's a lifestyle experience, right?
Exactly, yeah.
And life relationships.
Yeah.
It's to where you have people that you just go out and have a good time with.
Yeah.
You think that's important?
I think it's very important.
I mean, that's kind of your business now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what are the biggest payoffs for taking time and including a night out with friends, a night out with loved ones? Why is that important to the community and maybe even the family too?
Why is it important to the individual?
Yeah, well, or just to the community. I mean, what are your thoughts on that for both of you?
Well, I think a happy life, good experiences.
So
I guess that'd be my take on it.
So just simply that.
I think that's simply that.
So from a manufacturing fella with 4 generations, a self-made cook, a chef says, let's just have a good time.
Yeah.
And with people that we care about.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much simple as that, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like breaking it down to where, give me something easy. Give me something easy to do. You know, when we sit and talk here, it's interesting to me. We know each other, so there was no nervousness or any of that. But sometimes people say, well, I'm the cameras are intimidating, or just, what am I going to say? I said, we're just going to talk. I said, well, what do you mean? I said, we're just going to have a conversation.
Yeah.
But that's not something everyone is comfortable with, right? You have an environment that supports that and nurtures that, right? Because your tables are fairly close, right?
Yeah.
It's more of an intimate setting, and I'm sure you see people. I've been to Sixth and Main, and you'll see people get up and they'll just maybe they don't come over and talk, but hey Bob, hey, there's
Table
that
hop.
warm feeling that friends are coming together.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. What's the future look like?
Well,
we're going to continue doing what we're doing and searching for new ideas. And, and when we hit a roadblock, we'll reinvent ourselves.
Right.
Yeah.
So your big roadblock, you overcome that.
Yeah.
And then you have your place here, keeping a good chef in the kitchen, challenging, right?
Yeah.
You get somebody to cook, but to actually have somebody that's doing what you want them to do and please your guest, that's another thing. So you fixed that. You became that, right?
Yeah.
And you've got good staff that loves on your customers, and they really enjoy what they do. Because that's a family as well, isn't it?
Yeah. We've had very little turnover in the wait staff.
Yes.
Yeah. And then we also have a great catering team. Some work in the restaurant and some don't.
Just cater.
Just cater,
Right. They know what to do.
Yeah, we've got an excellent team.
And you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good manufacturer, right? The assembly team and the delivery team, so everybody kind of works together on that. Well, that's great. Well, Wilkes County's growing as far as people coming into the area, so that's got to be something that you're excited about.
Yes,
Most
definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, with every new business that comes to town, or every time ground is broken, that's
Potential customers
and potential for growth in the community.
Yes.
Have you met the people yet that have the clay shooting range?
She reached out to me via email.
Okay.
Yes.
They were great people. They were a husband and wife team. They were sitting here, and very interesting folks. They have people already. She said they have people that they've worked with around the country who have said they're already planning to come in from other parts of the country to be here for their groundbreaking, or not the ground, but the ribbon cutting, which will be in May. So that's a good thing, right?
Yeah, Yeah, I was excited to hear about that venture.
Yeah, and it was something different, something new for
Yeah.
the area. So a lot of people like to go hunting and shooting. So that's a valid sport here.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was one of the schools, one of the high schools. They have a shooting program.
I think it's
Yeah.
West.
Yeah,
maybe.
West. Yeah.
I remember when I was at Woodward Junior High, they had, you know, yeah.
Well, their story's interesting. When you get a chance, you can look at that story because the husband, he was born and grew up in California. I think it was Malibu. Was that right, Tim? Malibu, and his family, they would bird hunt. So as a kid,
From Malibu, really?
in
Okay.
California. Well, it was different then.
Oh, yeah.
He's 70, so
Okay.
it was quite a while ago. So,
okay.
so it would have. But if you think, I mean, we just imagine, California would have been, as we get into earlier days, in the past 100 years, there's been a lot of evolution there.
Yeah.
But the Wild West was the Wild West for a reason. So there were a lot of hunters there, and I think his family, the way he described it, that was part of a sporting activity that they did, similar to what would have happened here, but in the Malibu kind of a way, I guess. So that's a great thing. Well, guys, it's been great. Your favorite new thing on the menu, the thing that people, when they come to 6th and Main, you can say, we sell everything, but we sure do sell a lot of these particular things.
Dynamite shrimp, crab cakes, filet, salmon. I mean,
Fried chicken.
fried chicken, mac
fried
and cheese.
chicken.
So a lot of fried chicken.
All right.
Fried
So you
chicken.
got all the other things, but still yet fried chicken.
That's a big comfort food for a lot of people,
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you do more fried chicken than steak?
No,
No.
more filet.
More
for
fillets,
sure.
yeah.
More fillets.
And then we have specials every night. We did a snapper and a pork dish last night. And,
Nice.
we have a blue plate too. We did a meatloaf. Yeah.
Well, great.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, it's been awfully good catching up with you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
It's been a while.
It
hasn't
has been a while.
We'll have to fix that.
Good to see you, Carl.
Come-
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Well, good to see you all, too. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, thank you.
Thank you for spending time with us on Life in Wilkes. We value you as a viewer and appreciate when you share the show with your friends and family. Be sure to bookmark our channel and join us again on the next episode of Life in Wilkes.